my first 100 subscriber at 5:45 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. I was sitting at my desk, refreshing the dashboard every 3 seconds, my heart doing a frantic little jig in my chest. And when that digit finally rolled over from 99 to 100, I didn't pump my fist in triumph. I didn't shout with joy. Instead, I just exhaled. Whew. A deep, shuddering breath that felt like the first one I'd truly taken for 4 months. It was a desperate release, a quiet surrender of attention I hadn't realized had completely consumed me. If you're sitting there thinking, 100, that's a cute little milestone. Well, let me tell you, you haven't tried chasing it while every single video you pour your soul into feels like it's being flushed into the darkest void of the internet. It's an invisible struggle, a battle fought in silence where your biggest opponent is often your own wavering belief. This isn't just a story about hitting a number. This is a story of how patience isn't just a virtue on YouTube. It's the only currency it accepts in the beginning. And man, how close I came to completely running out of it. Life is always moving, like waves on the ocean. Some rise gentle, some crash hard, but every wave carries the chance to begin again. I'm Vanessa, and welcome to Waves of Change, a space for mindset, mindfulness, and the things that truly matter. Together we'll pause, breathe, and remember, you're never too late, and your peace is never too far. I started this channel because I watched one incredible, charismatic creator confidently declare, just hit record and the algorithm will do the rest. Y'all know this guy. Sounds simple, right? Almost like a magic spell. So I hit record. My plan was beautifully, deceptively simple. Upload twice a week, keep each video under 15 minutes, and then sit back and watch the subscribers snowball. I imagine waking up to a notification storm, seeing those numbers climb effortlessly. My first video, it took 6 grueling hours to film, another 6 to edit, and 2 more agonizing hours to craft a title and thumbnail I thought was pure genius. The result? A grand total of 43 views. And let's be honest, at least half of those views were my family out of polite obligation. I tried to tell myself that this was fine, that every big channel started small. It was the mantra I clung to, a thin shield against the creeping doubt. But week after agonizing week, the needle on that subscriber counter barely twitched. The dream of waking up to thousands of subscribers quickly morphed into a quiet, gnawing dread of checking my phone, of seeing those stagnant numbers. Each upload felt less like a step forward and more like throwing another message in a bottle into an endless ocean. I kept creating, not because I was inspired, but because the thought of quitting, of admitting defeat, felt even worse than the constant sting of failure. Y'all know what I mean. The gap between the monumental effort I was putting in and the almost non-existent reward was so wide, so vast, that I literally couldn't even see the other side. It felt like I was building a magnificent sandcastle, only for the tide to gently, but relentlessly, erase it every single day. Was I even making progress, or just spinning my wheels into the digital mud? There's a special, almost profound kind of loneliness that settles in when you're speaking passionately to an empty room. You spend hours, days even, meticulously crafting a line, testing a punchline for maximum impact, adding the perfectly timed cut because the beat just felt off. You uploaded, convinced, truly convinced that this one right here, this is the video that will finally break through. Then the analytics roll in. 10-second average watch time. 0 comments, not even a stray bot. It's a gut punch, isn't it? A silent, digital slap in the face. You start to question everything. Your voice, is it annoying? Your face, is it distracting? Your premise, is it utterly unoriginal? You even start questioning your life choices, wondering how you ended up here talking to a camera that seemingly no one even cares about. I was pouring my energy into making videos designed to help viewers improve their mindset and live fuller lives. My goal was to inspire the masses on mindfulness, the power of the subconscious, and starting over after 50. Impactful, right? I remember one night, I was so utterly defeated, so completely drained that I almost deleted the entire channel. I did. It was after a video about unlocking your true potential. Something I thought was genuinely helpful. It flopped harder than a gym class dodgeball game where everyone was aiming for me. The hardest part, though, truly, wasn't the numbers. It was the crushing uncertainty. It was not knowing if I was genuinely delusional, pouring energy into a lost cause, or if I was just one tiny tweak away from finally finding traction. Was I just bad at this, or was I simply missing a single ingredient? This limbo, this agonizing state of not knowing, is what truly wears you down. Patience sounds so noble, so stoic when you read it in an inspirational tweet on Instagram or Facebook. But in real life, when you're living it day in and day out, it feels less like a virtue and more like endless, uncompensated overtime with no guarantee of a bonus. It's the invisible labor of hope constantly battling the relentless whispers of doubt. Around month 3, something had to give. I'm telling you, I hit a wall, a genuine emotional and mental brick wall. I realized I had exactly 2 options: continue torturing myself, grinding away with a heart full of resentment and despair, or find a way, any way, to genuinely love the process itself. The first option was actively bankrupting my sanity, draining me faster than any video ever could. My mental health was on the line, and that was a cost I wasn't willing to pay. So I picked the second. It wasn't an overnight revelation, more like a slow, deliberate pivot. I started treating each upload not as a desperate plea for attention, but as my own personal free film school. Every video became an experiment. Could I try one new lighting setup just to see what happened? Could I take one small storytelling risk, pushing myself out of my comfort zone? Could I tackle one challenging editing technique that I always shied away from? The goal shifted dramatically from me. I stopped asking the soul-crushing question, will this get subscribers? And instead started asking, will this make me better by 1%? Will I learn something new in this process? This tiny, almost imperceptible shift in perspective was monumental. It wasn't about external validation anymore. It was about internal growth for me. Some videos still bomb. They do. They still do. But the sting, that deep personal wound of rejection, was largely gone. Why? Because the primary goal, my own improvement, was within my control. Whether anyone watched or not, I still learned, I still grew. That tiny yet profound mindset shift was the only thing that kept me consistent. And let me tell you, when you're tiny, when you're just a speck in the vast YouTube ocean, consistency isn't just important, it's the only thing YouTube's radar can reliably detect. It's the steady beat that tells the algorithm and yourself that you're still here, still showing up, still playing the game. It's about building a foundation of skill, brick by invisible brick, before you ever expect a skyscraper of an audience. So here's the cold hard math nobody ever puts on their tiny clickbait thumbnail. It took me 70 videos. Yes, 70. 7,840 views and a staggering 127 hours of dedicated, often frustrating work to earn those first 100 subscribers. Let that sink in for a moment. That breaks down to an average of 1.27 subscribers per hour of effort. 1.27. It's not exactly a get-rich-quick scheme, is it? It's a stark reminder that this journey isn't for the faint of heart or for those seeking instant gratification. This is why, if you measure your progress solely by the subscriber count, you will inevitably, unequivocally quit. Your motivation will evaporate faster than water on a hot skillet. But if you measure your progress by the skill you've gained, by the lessons you've absorbed, by the sheer act of showing up and improving, then you'll stay. I believe you will. You'll keep going. Why? Because the skill acquisition is an internal reward, a personal victory that no algorithm can take away. I've learned to dissect retention graphs, understanding exactly where viewers are dropping off and why. I've learned the brutal art of cutting fluff in the first 15 seconds because those initial moments are your entire audition. I learned to write titles that promise a single, clear, compelling reward rather than vague clickbait. These lessons, these hard-won insights, did not feel valuable at the time. They felt like endless iterations of failure, tiny adjustments made in the dark. But they compounded. They did. They built up little by little and into the only true asset you own on YouTube. The undeniable, unshakable ability to make the next video stronger, more engaging, and more impactful than the last. It's not about the fleeting numbers. It's about the enduring craft. It's about becoming a better storyteller, a more effective communicator, and a more resilient creator. That, my friend, is priceless. And it's something you carry with you long after the algorithms change. And you know they will change, or the trends fade, as they always do. The video that is still keeping me in the game and simultaneously pushed me over the 100 mark was I'm moving to Mauritius for 5 amazing reasons. It's about why I decided to move abroad after retirement. I almost didn't post it because 1, my early retirement had gotten denied and I was in my feelings about it. The second reason was the audio hissed, a persistent sound, annoying sound that I couldn't fix no matter how many tutorials I watched. My inner critic screamed, "It's not perfect, it's not worth it, don't put it out." But some stubborn little voice urged me to hit publish anyway. Imperfect action over perfect inaction. Within 48 hours, that imperfect, slightly hissing video scraped together a modest 312 views. Modest by any metric I know, but here's the magic. It added 23 subscribers. 23. Enough to finally tip the scales from 99 to 100. The notification popped up and I stared at the screens for so long that 100 subscriber went up to 101 subscribers. It wasn't a moment of explosive joy, not really. The dominant emotion that washed over me like a gentle wave was pure, unadulterated relief. Relief that the test of patience, this grueling invisible marathon, actually had a finish line, a tangible, undeniable finish line. It wasn't a demarcation point, a sign that I hadn't been completely wrong, completely delusional. It was proof that my effort, however slow and frustrating, had not been in vain. But even in that moment of relief, a quiet truth settled in. This wasn't the finish line. This was just the end of the beginning. The marathon, the real marathon, was just starting. And I was now finally initiated. Hey, if you're still watching this and you're still stuck below 100, if you're feeling that same quiet dread and battling those same whispers of doubt that I had, I want to hear from you. Seriously, drop a comment right now and tell me how many subscribers you have, and more importantly, how long you've been grinding. I promise you I read every single comment because I don't get that many. And I'll let you know the one thing I wish I'd known at that exact same stage. Let's turn the comment section into a real support group, a place of shared experience and genuine encouragement, instead of just another ghost town where the voices go unheard like an echo, echo, echo. You're not alone in this. People, especially those who haven't walked this path, I often say that 100 subscribers is an arbitrary number. And sure, logically it is. It's just another digit, but psychologically, it's everything. It's the first undeniable proof that strangers, not just my family, but actual honest-to-goodness strangers, believe you are worth their precious time. The difference between 99 and 100 isn't just one person. It's one person crossing a critical line. It's one person making a conscious decision to move from a passive viewer to an active fan, to a committed supporter. That single digit, that one subscriber, fundamentally flips your identity. You're no longer just someone who makes videos in your spare time hoping against hope. You've become a creator. You own that title. It's not about the number itself, it's about the profound permission you finally give yourself to keep going. It's the internal validation that says, okay, I'm not crazy. There's something here. Here's a secret about slow growth that no one ever talks about. Come on in, let me tell you. Because nobody was watching, truly, nobody was watching at the beginning, I could afford to make all the mistakes. And believe me, I made them. I tried every jarring jump cut imaginable, every questionable color grade, every background, every on-screen text animation that would make a professional designer weep openly. My thumbnails, bless their heart, they were often tragic. The beauty of a tiny audience is that it offers a massive psychological safety net. Small audience meant small embarrassment. It was my personal creative laboratory. I could experiment wildly, fail spectacularly, and learn rapidly, all without the terrifying glare of public scrutiny. There is no viral backlash, no comment section tearing me apart for a poorly executed transition. By the time new eyes, new subscribers finally started arriving in any meaningful number, all the cringe, all the awkwardness, all the amateur hour mistakes had long since been edited out or simply outgrown. I had refined my voice, my style, my technical skill, all in the quiet privacy of obscurity. Fast growth looks incredibly sexy on paper, doesn't it? Everyone dreams of that overnight success. I've seen a few. But slow growth is a free pass, a golden ticket, if you will, to experiment, iterate, and truly hone your craft without public penalty. Grateful now that the algorithm ignored me for those first crucial months. It wasn't a curse, it was a blessing in disguise. It didn't feel like it, but it gave me a safe, low-stakes sandbox to play in, to stumble, to learn, and ultimately to become watchable. It allowed me to build confidence and competence before the spotlight ever dared to inch in my direction. When the sub count froze for weeks, when my brain threatened to spin out of control with self-doubt, I clung to 4 simple strategies. They might sound basic, but they were my anchors in the storm, so allow me to share them with you. Strategy number 1, batch film on Sundays so weekday energy levels don't decide your upload schedule. On a Tuesday night after a long day, the thought of setting up lights and writing a script feels like climbing Mount Everest. But if you've already filmed your content on a Sunday, your only task is to edit and upload. This simple strategy protects your consistency from your fluctuating energy and mood levels. It creates a rhythm, a non-negotiable commitment to your channel, regardless of how you feel on a given weekday. Strategy number 2, one of my favorite ones. Make the video you need yourself. If you're bored, everyone else is too. The trick is about authenticity and passion. Stop trying to guess what the algorithm wants or what some trending topic demands. Instead, ask yourself, what problem do I need solved? What question am I genuinely curious about? What skills do I wish someone would teach me? When you create from a place of genuine need and interest, your enthusiasm is palpable. It bleeds through the screen. If you're bored making the video, if you're just going through the motions, your audience will feel the disengagement. This approach ensures your content is authentic, engaging, and comes from a place of true passion, which is incredibly magnetic. Strategy number 3. Set a non-negotiable date to publish and hit private instead of delete if panic sets in. You can always release later. Perfectionism is the silent killer of consistency. The fear of releasing something that isn't perfect can paralyze you, so establish a firm upload deadline. Make it non-negotiable. If, as the deadline looms, panic sets in, if you suddenly convince yourself it's not good enough, don't hit delete. Never delete. Instead, hit private. It takes the pressure off. It gives you time to breathe, to reevaluate your video with fresh eyes, or even to make those last-minute tweaks without the clock ticking so loudly. You can always release it later, or even scrap it if it's truly irredeemable. But by hitting the private button, you still make your commitment to yourself, and you haven't destroyed the work in the process. It's a powerful psychological bypass for the urge to self-sabotage. Strategy number 4. Track only one metric. This metric, average view duration. Everything else is noise until you cross the 1,000 sub line. In the beginning, the sheer volume of the analytics can be overwhelming and discouraging. Subscriber count, likes, dislikes, impressions, click-through rates is a dizzying array of numbers. But until you have a critical mass of viewers, most of these metrics are meaningless. The one singular metric that tells you if you're making better videos is average view duration. Are people sticking around? Are they engaged? This metric provides actionable feedback. If people are dropping off at the 30-second mark, you know you need to work on your hooks. If they're leaving halfway through, perhaps your storytelling needs tightening. Focus relentlessly on improving this one number, and everything else, subscribers, likes, comments, will eventually follow. It cuts through the noise and gives you a clear, measurable goal for improvement. These rules, these simple strategies, were the scaffolding that kept my creative spirit from collapsing. They were practical mechanisms that allowed patience to become less of a theoretical virtue and more of a lived reality. Hitting 100 subscribers, despite the profound relief it brought, didn't unlock fame. It didn't magically generate a stream of passive income. It didn't even trigger a congratulatory email from YouTube. What it did unlock was the next, more insidious test. Can you do it again when the initial high fades? Can you maintain that same level of commitment, that same dogged determination when the novelty wears off and the journey stretches endlessly before you? The answer I've learned is yes, but only if you truly, deeply learn to love the grunt work, the unseen effort, the repetitive nature of creation. Patience, I've come to understand, isn't some innate virtue you either possess or you don't. It's a muscle, and like any other muscle, it needs to be worked, to be strained, to be consistently exercised, to grow stronger. The reps you put in, the countless hours you invest during that period of invisible growth, when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, those are the only reasons visible, undeniable growth eventually becomes possible. I still refresh my analytics dashboard more often than what's healthy. I'll admit that. The number's still holding a certain hypnotic allure for me. But here's the crucial difference. The numbers no longer own me. They don't dictate my worth or my motivation. They simply inform the next rep, the next video, the next tiny improvement. They are data points, not destiny. They are guides, not gods. And that shift in power dynamics is the true victory of hitting 100. Your first 100 subscribers is not a milestone to tick off a list. It's an initiation. It's YouTube's profound, unspoken way of asking you with absolute clarity, Are you truly willing to show up consistently, relentlessly, even when no one is clapping? Are you willing to improve your craft day in and day out, even when no one is criticizing, offering feedback, or even noticing? Are you willing to believe in the story you're telling and the value you're creating long before the audience ever truly arrives? If your answer to those questions is a resounding yes, then and only then do the gates open a little wider, just a little. You've passed the first, most crucial test of endurance and belief. But if your answer is no, if you're only in it for the quick wins or the immediate gratification, then frankly, you're never going to survive the next 1,000 or the next 10,000. This journey demands a different type of mettle. So keep uploading, keep learning, keep refining, and for your own sanity and sustained success, measure your progress not in likes, not in fleeting views, but in the invaluable lessons you accumulate along the way. Patience is not just a suggestion, it's the admission ticket to this incredible, frustrating, and ultimately rewarding journey. Cash it in every single week until that room finally, gloriously stops being empty. If you're still watching, still believing, then consider subscribing to Waves of Change. I'd be honored to have you ride along with me to the next milestone. I promise to keep sharing the real numbers and all the hard-won lessons I pick up along the way. And if you've already hit that magical 100, if you've navigated this challenging terrain yourself, please drop the best advice below for those of us still in the trenches. Let's speed this process up for everyone. Let's build a community where we lift each other up, because we all know how lonely this journey to 100 can be. Hey y'all, I'm Vanessa. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And remember, you're never too late, and your peace is never too far. Bye now.